Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode here on Unscripted. I'm your host, Josh Mansell, and like always, hit that subscribe button. We really appreciate it. My guest today is an up-and-coming female boxer here in Australia. She comes from Cairo, and she's driven, consistent, and has worked her way up to the top. And we got her at the right time. She is fighting at one of the most iconic places in the world, in front of the Pyramids of Giza. Mai Soliman, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Josh. Thank you for having me.
How's it going?
Yeah, good. Good to be here. Just like you said, exciting times ahead.
Big congratulations. You know why? You're our first female guest.
Hey. First for many things.
Exactly right. Exactly right. How's training been?
Yeah, been good. Intense. Biggest fight of my life coming up. So you can just imagine, training will be all types of crazy. But hey, pressure comes, I love it.
I love that. Pressure's a privilege. Tell me, what's training looking like right now for you?
Pretty hectic, pretty crazy. We train about 6 days a week. We try to have at least a day off just to let the body reset.
Yeah.
Sparring 3 times a week.
Wow.
Boxing 6 days, strength and conditioning about 3 days a week, running twice, we're swimming once, and obviously on top of that we got to make sure we get on top of our recovery. With
all that, you don't look like you have any bumps and bruises. Like you're not showing any anyway. Like, how's the body feeling?
No, it feels good, but as it gets towards the end of the week, you sort of hit a little bit of small burnout. But again, like I said, that one day gives me enough time to reset, get my mind right, get my body right, and jump in straight back for the next week, and we do it all over again.
You're fighting Mizuki, like I said before, in front of the Pyramids. Have you got to see much of her?
Yeah, absolutely. I've been watching her way before this fight was announced, or even before my last couple of fights. Just had my eyes set on her and the other champs in the division. There's currently 4 champs, all southpaws as well. So,
wow.
Yeah. I've had my eyes set on her and the others, but we thought one of them is going to appear, just don't know when, and no better time but to have it on this next card coming up.
Yeah, she was Female Boxer of the Year last year.
With Ring Magazine.
Yeah, with Ring Magazine. Why does she deserve that prize in your eyes?
I think because she's been the most active as a champ within that division, so it's almost like, the better performance, better, more active. So that's what the ring is about. And
obviously you've watched her. She's southpaw, correct?
Yeah.
And does that require your fighting stance is like an orthodox style, right?
I'm an orthodox.
Yeah. So does that? Can you explain to me, when you are fighting a southpaw fighter, what challenges does that come with being an orthodox fighter?
Look, we don't get to every day to fight against the southpaw.
Yeah.
So it's just getting the stance right, getting your timing right, getting your movement right and rhythm. But again, I've got I'm grateful that I have a couple of teammates who are southpaw, so I get to work with them day in, day out, outside of before this fight being locked in. So, it's almost like I'm made for that fight.
Of course. Do you spar females or men as well?
I spar both,
Okay.
But again, I'm always being in a male-dominated field, I'm going to have more males in the gym around us. So, you just got to work with what you have, and hey, they keep me honest.
I was going to say, because if I was jumping in the ring with a female, there's a part of me that would want to hold back. I don't want to go too hard. Do they do that with you?
Yeah, look, if they feel like, obviously male's power is going to be more dominant over the female.
Yeah.
They feel like,
physically,
you understand, you work together, you're not there to kill each other.
Well, that can happen sometimes though. If you get a good punch away, and then their ego kind of gets the best of them, and they react to it, they want to kind of come back at you.
Yeah.
Does that happen?
Look, you get that, but I feel like when you have teammates where you work together, you understand each other. There's respect.
Yeah.
Respect goes both ways. You don't want to, destroy your sparring partner and not. It's an environment where you want to grow together. So we want to learn off each other at the end of the day.
Before this fight was announced, I remember speaking to you. I think it was at a cafe, and I know you were manifesting, kind of making this a reality for yourself. Have you had the chance to kind of really reflect and think about like this opportunity?
Yeah, so I almost manifested. I feel like I manifested this since just after my second fight.
Yeah.
I had a dream. I woke up from that dream, and I just had goosebumps. Just a dream that felt like it just already happened. It felt so real. I started, what do you call it? I was not crying, but I felt very happy.
You felt like it was a reality.
Yeah, I just something didn't. It sat with me, and I remember speaking with my mom at the time, and I called her up straight away, and I said, "Look, I had this dream that felt very real, and I feel like it's either happened, or it's something that I'm meant to do."
Yeah.
I remember in this dream, I was talking, and I said, you know, a fight in front of the pyramids would be amazing, and all I remember is going towards the pyramids, and I'm about to have my biggest fight of my life.
How long ago was this?
This goes back, I made my pro debut in 2022, and I've had 2 professional fights in that year.
You know, the way you're describing that, there was a photo you uploaded and there was, you had your back and you were
Walking
doing the
towards the
walkout,
pyramid.
walking toward the pyramids. Was that what your dream was? Is that how you envisioned it?
That's how my dream was. I had that dream. There was one person I was working with a mental performance coach, David King.
Yeah.
And at the time, I was just being early on in my career, and I just needed that guidance, you know, how to work around, you know, professional fights and training. You know, I want to work on my mental.
The mental game? Yeah, because I want to
absolutely.
ask you that later.
I remember seeing him for my session, and I said, "Hey, David, this is the dream that I had. You know, I woke up," and he said, "You got to work on that dream. You got to get it. You got to achieve it."
Wow.
And I just feel like ever since that dream, obviously growing into my next few fights, I've had big fights. I just kept that dream almost like a vision on my vision board. That is something that I've want to achieve. I don't know how I'm going to do that. I don't know who's going to help me do that, but I'm going to get to it.
Oh my God, I love that so much. Because we had this conversation with Drop Attire about visualizing, right?
Yeah.
Visualizing, manifestation. I think that kind of, they align with each other,
Absolutely.
right? And I went through something as a kid as well. You obviously went through something. All the high performance CEOs, they all do it. Like it's a practice that they all do and live by. And you just saying that kind of, again, just reinforces it to me, reinforces it to yourself, because like, look where we are now today. Like, what does it mean to you? Like, obviously this is an iconic event. It's the biggest moment of your career, but not only like for you, but for your family. Like, you're Egyptian born, aren't you?
Yeah, it's a big full circle moment for me, because I was born, this is where I was born. I was born in Cairo, maybe about 35 minutes away from where the pyramids are. I didn't even, mind you, I didn't even start boxing in Egypt at all. I moved to Ireland, Dublin. I lived there for a little bit when I was young because of my dad's job at the time.
What was he doing?
He worked for the Foreign Affairs.
Okay.
So he done a lot of traveling. Moved back to Egypt, started my sport. You know, I was into swimming, running and everything. So I competed on a high level. And then eventually my dad was like, we're moving to Australia.
Yeah.
So moved to Sydney and, continued my sports here. And I only started boxing when I was about 17 years old.
Why?
Just at the end of year 12.
Why did you start boxing?
I don't know, something sort of, I don't know, I wanted to try something different at the time. It wasn't being done before, and I just felt like boxing might give me that discipline, that pathway for me to sort of a guidance. Just something pulled me about it,
Wow.
I also watched the Manny Pacquiao-Floyd Mayweather fight at the time. Also watched the $1 Million Baby movie. So yeah, there's a couple of things that sort of pulled me towards of boxing path.
What was it like having that conversation with your parents? Like, the running joke with ethnic parents, especially like the generation before me, was they were full anti like rugby league because of the contact, and they just didn't understand it. But boxing's a different kettle of fish, not only because you're Egyptian born, you don't really see that often, and you're a female.
Yeah.
What was that conversation like with your parents?
Look, I'm very grateful because of my parents. They, like I said again, they pulled me into sports since a young age. So
Yeah.
they weren't like, oh, you shouldn't do sport. But I think having that conversation about boxing as a female as well, it's just very hard. You know, my parents obviously grew up in Egypt. None of this was going on around them. You know, they don't see a female boxing. They don't understand. First of all, they'll think it's dangerous.
Of course.
Second, I don't know how they'll accept that for a female. But I tried to sit down with them, got them to understand. And mind you, for the first year of my boxing, I didn't tell them. So I had to keep hiding it from them.
No way. How'd they find out?
I just sat down with them and told them. I'm a person. Look, I'm close with my parents.
That's nice. That's
and
good.
I love telling them, you know, everything. I hate hiding things from them. You know, I like to see, you know, I get their advice on everything. So I sat down with them and spoke to them about me doing boxing. At first, they looked at it like, nah, that's not right. You know, it's dangerous. It's not good for you, and it's probably not acceptable in my society where I grew up. You know, where I was born.
Yeah.
But they came around to the idea of it. They seen how dedicated I was. I loved it, and yeah, I had my first fight.
Wow. Were they there in attendance?
No, they were actually very busy that day.
It would have been tough.
It
I can't
was
imagine
tough.
watching
It
my
was tough.
daughter
I remember
pro boxing.
I remember having my little sister with me, and
Yeah.
and I had a close mate of mine. So that was my support.
Oh my God. I can imagine. How nervous were you for your first
I
fight?
was very nervous. I went up against someone who was probably around 11, 12 years older than me, full of tattoos from head to toe. And I'm just absolutely shitting myself thinking, I don't know if I'm going to survive this.
Wow. Does boxing also conflict with your religious beliefs?
Look,
That's a tricky one, right?
yeah, it is a tricky one. Look, society, some people looked upon, that's not ladylike, right? A lot of people would say that. Two, they say, you know, hitting another person is against the religion.
It's haram.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's haram. But again, whereas, you know, but in our religion as well, they teach you that you need to learn how to wrestle. You need to learn how to defend yourself.
I was going to say that.
So, again, it is a form of self-defense, a form of discipline. As long as you're not using it as a weapon against other people for no reason.
Yeah.
And that's what I like about combat sports. You know, when it comes to, like you see, there's a lot of bullying going around, right, these days. And I feel like if these kids are being taught by the right martial art coach, that teaches you a form of discipline, a form of, like I said,
Respect.
Respect goes both ways. A formal guidance in and outside of school, in and outside of the gym. You use it for self-defense, and you use it for a form of to respect the others around you.
You spoke about bullying as well. It's something that's kind of running rampant at the moment in schools. I remember there was a poor little girl that was bullied in Kingsgrove North, I think it was, high school. And I think in this day and age is so important to, like you said, to be able to defend yourself, because when things happen like that, you have that confidence to, you know.
Yeah, and I just feel like all these students, you know, if they, they go into let's say a boxing gym just to learn that self-defense, you're not only learning self-defense, but you're learning respect. You know, martial arts teaches you respect. They're not going to tell you, you're going to learn this here and you're going to do it outside on the street or in school. There's something within you that switches on. You're like, you feel like you've got to take care of yourself and take care of others in terms of, you know, respecting each other, who's in front of me, my elders, my peers, my teammates, the students around me and everything. So I do feel like it's a vital thing that at least everyone needs to try martial arts like once in their life. Yeah.
Coming into sport, was there a female boxer you looked up to?
Oh, we had back in the days, like, you know, not back in the days as in my time when I started, because it was a sport that was slowly growing, but there was Tracy Martin. She was famous back in the day. I think there's a movie about her and her life. Obviously you've got Layla Ali. So all these have paved the way for us to do things. But, now the sport is growing huge. It's in a huge rise.
Instead of looking up to someone in particular, I feel like you're looking up to the person you want to become. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, definitely. I just want to be a good person. I want to be a good fighter, do my thing, and leave a legacy behind me. Not just, I want to say she's taken on the hard fight. She's paved the way for the others, male or female, young female athletes, even boxers, to leave a mark behind once I'm done with the sport.
You've been back to Cairo?
Absolutely, yeah.
Can you describe Cairo to me, or Egypt itself?
Beautiful but chaotic.
Sounds like Lebanon. Sounds like Lebanon.
But I love that place.
Yeah.
I love that place. I can't get enough of it. Every time I have a chance to be able to leave the country, that's the first place I'll go.
See, like when you describe it like that,
Yeah.
it doesn't sound like I want to go. Like you're not really like selling it to me, right? But it's hard to explain. Like it's hard to actually provide that. You'll provide your own perspective, firstly, and secondly, like end of the day, you're Egyptian. Like,
Yeah.
You've obviously got something inside you. Whenever you go back to that country, like you've got
100%.
something that ties you there. And it's like for me, like going back to Lebanon, like everything going on now. Yes, it's very sad and heartbreaking. But when we go there, like it's a completely different side. The people are beautiful. The food's great. The country is beautiful. And I think it's like really important, like to kind of connect when you can.
Yeah, look, I go back every once a year if I can. Last year I went twice.
Did ya?
I went twice.
What did you get up to?
The first time I went over with my mum. I went to Saudi, I went to Dubai, I went to Egypt.
Wow.
And then end of last year, after the Jasmine Parr fight, I just booked my ticket in the same week after I won, and I was like, I'm taking off, I'm going. But it was probably the best decision I'd done, They were waiting for me, for them going back, sharing my experience, my win. For them, it means a lot. It helps the combat sports scene grow over there, even though I'm very connected to the Australian boxing scene. But over there, I like to help out the up and coming athletes, if it's MMA, if it's boxing, just to push out that we have great athletes as well. But yeah, they were so happy just to see me, bring the belt back with me, the IBF. It's for me. It meant a lot, sharing some good moments with them. Even crazy part, even speaking about that I wanted to fight at the Pyramids. And this is way before me being put on a card, even the Usyk card being announced.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, manifestation, right?
What a fulfilling moment.
Yeah.
What did you get up to in Egypt? I have to ask. I want to go to Egypt. Funny enough, my brother-in-law is getting married on Sunday, and his honeymoon's going to be Egypt and Mykonos.
When's the honeymoon?
That's a very good question. Like, who knows when it's going to peak with what's happening in the world right now? But I know they've booked in those kind of two destinations. What can they expect? Where should they go? If I want to go, where should I go?
Oh, definitely visit Cairo first of all. You need to see the pyramids when you get there. There's other places to visit along the line, like, if you want to go more ancient side, we visit places like Luxor and Aswan, visit the temples.
Sharm el-Sheikh?
Yeah, so
Did I say that right?
Sharm el-Sheikh.
Just in case.
You're almost there.
Oh my God. Almost buckled.
Egypt has some really beautiful beaches on the Red Sea.
Yes.
And the Mediterranean. One of the most clear waters you'll ever see. Very nice coral reef. So a lot of diving, the sun's very different. So you get out there.
It's hotter.
It's hot. You get a good tan. I don't know. It's something about it just so different to a lot of beaches.
If we can get our tinfoil hats on, got a bit of a conspiracy theory here, right? You're flying at the pyramids.
Yep.
Were the pyramids built by humans, or were they built by aliens? When you really think about it, I've seen a couple of things come out now recently about the foundation and the structure below the pyramids, and it goes. Pedro, you can vouch for me here because I know you love a conspiracy theory.
I love this type of stuff, bro.
But did you see that? The structures below the pyramids?
It was like an infrared scan that showed what was underneath. I don't know how accurate it was, but it showed hundreds and hundreds of meters below the ground that was
Like they were
there
big pillars, right?
canals or
Yeah.
pillars or something. Yeah.
I saw that. I don't know, man. Like, I just, till this day, they actually have no idea of how the pyramids were built. You know, they assume that it's being built over like 20 or 30 years, depending on which pyramid it was. And I know I've heard about the pillars, but again, they didn't try to dig it up. So is it accurate? Is
I don't
it
think
not?
they can because like
I don't know
they'll
who's.
disturb the foundation of the pyramids
I
itself.
mean, you can go around. There's ways probably, or to really, but yeah, it's something I feel like that just leaves a question mark. But yeah, photos don't do justice for these pyramids. You go there and you're like, how? You know, you've got so many questions to ask, and no one can even answer you on them.
Did you go inside them by any chance?
Yeah.
That is so sick. That is so good.
Look, if you hate tight, small places, it's probably not meant for you. But
Yeah, that's me. No, I'm actually.
you?
That's the one thing I can't stand. I hate like working in tight spaces.
yeah.
And I hate cords. I hate dealing with cords. I know they do my head
Okay,
in.
there's no cords in there.
Yeah, but that was sweet. But like working like in tight spaces, I get a bit. I don't know if I get claustrophobic, but I get frustrated. If that
You
makes
get
sense.
frustrated. Yeah, look, it's but I'm guessing there's other rooms around him because of, you know, that's where they used to leave the king after he passes.
Yep.
And then obviously with all his belongings for the afterlife.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very fascinating. There's so many stories. There's so many things, you know, not just the pyramids, but all over Egypt. There's so many things that you want to see and you probably will never see because that's how much and so many of it. There's also the new museum that they
Yeah,
opened
saw
up
that.
right next to the pyramids. It's just, it goes for ages. Like,
I feel like there's just constantly archaeological digs everywhere. Like every single year, there's a new dig happening, and they're uncovering more and more and more. And it feels like how long's a piece of string? Like there's
100%.
so much that's buried out there that they're constantly finding. I'm intrigued, like really intrigued with like ancient history, particularly the Egyptian history, and like just like the mummification, the way like the whole process itself, obviously the way they built the pyramids, the Sphinx, like there is so much that goes into ancient history for the Egyptians.
You know, funny story. My mom's an archaeologist.
No, no, really?
Yeah.
That is so sick.
Two things. My mom is an archaeologist, and she knows how to speak a bit of Japanese as well.
You're kidding.
Yeah.
You're kidding.
No.
Does
I'm not
Mizuki know how to speak English?
I think she's trying to learn, but yeah, you know.
Your mum can be a translator. That is unbelievable. Do you have a bit of a passion with like, you know, archaeology? What is it? Can you say, please, Petra?
Archaeology.
Archaeology.
English is my second language, bro.
Yeah,
Come
I
on.
know. Me too.
It's all right, don't worry, all of us.
Archaeology. Far out. Why couldn't I get that out? Anyway, yes. Do you have a passion for archaeology?
Yeah. I do always, you know, always ask my mum about things and what they mean. Just very fascinating, you know. I love representing, you know, showing where I come from. You know, I don't know if you noticed on my last fight, I designed my whole kit, you know, with all the hieroglyphics on my
I saw that.
on my jacket, on my shoes, on my shorts, you know, on my sports bra that I was fighting in the fight. And yeah, I just felt like $1 million, you know. I just felt like no one's ever done this, and I'm proud to really represent it. It's something different, something cool. So
What's your fight name going to be?
till this day.
Off air. Not me. A friend of mine suggested this name. Listen, I'm not going to say it's a great name, no disrespect, but there's a very good meaning behind the name. So it was Sekhmet, and Sekhmet was an ancient goddess, and I think it was like the goddess of power, wasn't it? Was that right?
Yeah.
Listen, you're not going to go with that, are you?
I mean, hey, you know, funny you say that. In my first few fights, when I was fighting out of Reesby, the host will always announce me. Like, I didn't even tell him to do anything.
Let me guess, the Egyptian goddess.
No.
Oh, okay.
The Queen of the Nile.
The Queen of the Nile. The first thing I think of, if that's bad to say, is the pokies. The queen of the...
Yeah, the queen of denial.
Yeah.
And I remember the first time he said it, and I remember as they're announcing for me to walk out,
Yeah.
and I can see Mai Soliman, the queen of the, and I'm turning to my coach. I'm like, did he just say that?
Oh my God. So you didn't know that was coming?
No.
Oh, wow.
No, he's he's doing his own thing, and he's just realizing, I'm from Egypt and whatnot, and then he just thought, hey, let's run with it.
That is hilarious.
And I just thought, yeah, this is cool.
Was Rivesby the first fight? Was that where it was held?
Yeah, we fought at Rivesby Workers. It's actually a great venue.
It's pretty big there.
I feel like I've got a lot of memories there now. Fought a lot of fights. I think as a local to where I'm starting, it's definitely amazing. Yeah.
All right, let's narrow in back into this iconic fight of yours. Obviously the big event, and we're just touching on, you used to fight at Rivesby Workers and all these other humble clubs, right?
Yep.
This is a different kettle of fish. This is going to be the biggest thing you're ever going to walk in front of. So how are you preparing for that mentally? Because like the walkout's probably the most daunting thing a fighter does, right? So are you practicing any mindfulness, meditation to kind of calm yourself emotionally for that big moment?
Yeah, look, everyday meditation for me is without a doubt is part of my routine. Just brings me down, sort of, I gotta make sure I humble myself every day, be grateful for the opportunity that's been given to me, and just remind myself that's another fight. Regardless of where I'm fighting, if it's on the moon, if it's wherever it is, MSG, Vegas, now in front of the pyramids, obviously, it's an icon, 7 wonders of the world. Remind myself it's another fight. Don't
overthink it, right?
Yeah, don't, whatever I'm doing, it's the same task, same fight, just another hurdle that I got to go across.
I've got another question for you. So say you spoke about visualizing and manifestation, right?
Yeah. 9
times out of 10, you visualize positive things, correct?
Absolutely.
Do you ever visualize if something goes wrong and how you would react in the moment? Like, have you ever visualized, I don't know if you've done it before, but I actually learned this probably late in my career because I was the same as you. I used to visualize and kind of mentally rehearse for what was to come, right? So when it does come, I'm prepared in the moment. Like it's almost I've already practiced it. I've been there before, right? That's the whole point of visualization. But someone told me, do you visualize if something was to go wrong? And I was like, I've never done that before. In the moment, I was probably like in my 30s. I'd never done it before. They're like, you should do that because if you do that, your reaction to that moment wouldn't be as severe. Does that make sense? Like you'd react in a better way. You wouldn't react out of emotion, but you'd be more process driven. You'd be like, okay, it's happened, but it's okay. Like I'm going to focus on what comes next. Do you visualize if something bad's going to happen?
Look, things going, out of your plans or thing, it's going to happen.
Yeah, like right? You can't, things happen, right? Shit happens. That's the thing.
I remind myself I've got to stick to my plan. For example, I'll give you a good example. My last fight with Jasmine Parr. A few things went wrong, but I remember before that fight, I kept saying to myself, I don't care how much I go through. I don't care what I look like after the fight. I don't care if I'm on a stretcher. I'm knocking her out.
Wow.
I said, I'm going to knock her out. But I don't care what happens to me. I don't care if I'm busted up. I don't care if I'm on a stretcher. I don't care what's going on. I'm going to win by knockout. And there you go. A lot of things went wrong in this fight, and that's okay. But as long as I get back onto my path, my plan, and what I need to focus on. And that's exactly what happened. Things went wrong in some of the rounds, but I had to adjust. I had to remind myself in the corner, I'm like, you're down. I'm down right now. There's no plan B. I don't have a plan B. I gotta wake up. I don't have a plan B. This is my time right now. Because
we're already there. I was gonna bring it a bit later on, but you were down in the scorecard.
Yeah.
Everything, like you said, everything was going against her. She was fighting a good fight. Like
she was having a good fight.
Yeah. So, how did you was it just constantly telling yourself, to keep believing in yourself, like stay with the plan, things are going to change. Like how did you stay present in that moment when things were going so bad?
First round I had it my way, and then it sort of just went down from there, and I just was just fighting her fight.
Yeah.
You know, I just sort of kicked my own plan out of the way, and I was like, what's going on? Like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
This, I can't be doing in this fight.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I just reminded myself, I'm like, man, get up, wake up. Like, it's not going to end here. It's definitely not going to end here. And this is my fight to win. And I remember sitting in the corner, I remember Mick is like, man, you got to do this, you got to do that.
Mick's your trainer?
Mick Akwe. He's like, you got to do this, you got to do that. And all I remember was I was just speaking to myself, man, I don't have a plan B. There's no plan B. I've got to win this fight. And I'm gonna get her. I'm gonna knock her out. And I remember getting up round 6. I started doing things a little bit different. I started making a miss a little bit, getting that timing and everything and moving. Coming out round 7, I said, this is my round. This is my round. I get out, all trading. I make a miss. I catch it clean. I remember looking in her eyes, and she did not like it. I remember just I can feel she was buzzed, but she was trying her best not to show it. She gets out of the way. As soon as she moved out of my circle, on the inside, I was like, I got you.
Wow.
And that's when I caught her with a 1-2 and over, and she drops. And I remember I ran to the neutral corner, and I'm looking at her, and I'm like, I just gotta stay calm right now, because I'm gonna finish it now. And I remember looking at her corner. She's not knowing what to do. She's never been dropped in her whole career.
Yeah, I know.
If it's Muay Thai, boxing. And I was like, we're going to finish it. Mind you, we were fighting 2-minute rounds at this point. So
You prefer 3?
I prefer 3. So and then just went out there, instead of being overly excited, just stick to the plan, work, and then just make sure we finish the job.
It was a dogfight. It was a big brawl, but you did come up with a win. It was actually a blessing in disguise, and probably a perfect lead up to this next big fight of yours, because and you've got the confidence that you've taken yourself to those deep waters. Like, you can take a punch here and there and still stay present and stay focused on your job. Like, did you get a lot of confidence out of that fight?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, as much as you don't want to be in these kind of fights majority of your career, but it's good to know that if you've been taken into deep waters or I could say I'd taken my own self into deep waters, I can get myself out of it as well in these situations.
Because you know what as well? I remember talking to a lot of people before that fight. I won't mention who, but no one gave you a chance in hell to win that fight. There was you know what? I kind of got the feeling that you've had so many doubters in your life, and doubters are great because you use them as fuel, right? But end of the day, you don't need to prove yourself to anyone. You need to prove it to yourself, and I think you did that in that fight. Do you feel like that fight really put you on the map and proved a lot of people wrong about you?
Yeah, 100%. Like you said, going into the fight, I already knew. There'll be comments here and there, but I don't bother to read.
Yeah, you don't.
I don't bother to read things on social media, because at the end of the day, they're just sitting behind a screen tapping away on their couch, right? But you have people doubting you. Some of my fights I've came in as the underdog, and that's so fine with me. If it's anything, it's probably a privilege for me to be the underdog.
If you don't mind me asking, after the fight when you won, there was a bit of tension there between you and Jazzy. Like, what was that about?
She's just in disbelief that she's been knocked out.
Disappointed, yeah.
And knocked out by me. Some of her, she can't take a loss very well, given from her other fights. And that's something she needs to work on. And I thought, you know what, instead of arguing with her, I just wanted to give her a hug, give her some respect. And she didn't want that. And I just thought, instead of arguing with her after my win, I'm just going to let her be how she is. And as it is, I didn't have to go off at her or anything. Everything was caught on camera at the time. And, the rest, how the rest is. Everyone's seen it with their own eyes on TV, on social media. And I get the same question, what did she say?
Yeah. I was just curious. I had to ask.
She
because-
said, she's like, no hug. Nah, there's no hug. And I was like, why? She's like, oh, you want to be nice, like something about nice to me now. Like you didn't even like shake my hand at the weigh-ins. And I was like,
That's different though.
but it's different. Like at the end of the day, she didn't shake my hand at the weigh-ins, and that's fine. I respect that. I don't hate you for it. If you didn't shake my hand, that's okay, because we're gonna fight each other, and we can, hug it out, shake hands after the fight, and that's it. I respect anyone that jumps in the ring with me. So yeah.
See, like I, as a fan, like I don't mind when fighters, like, no, I'm not gonna shake your hand at the weigh-in. Like it's.
That's
no,
okay.
I'm here for business. Like
Thank you.
I am zeroed in on you, and I'm here to beat you. We are not fucking friends. Like, yes, I have respect for you as a fighter, but I want what you want.
100%.
I'm here to take it. So, like as a fan, I don't mind that. You know what I mean? But I don't think fighters should take it personally either. Like if you guys are there for business, it's strictly business. But after the fight is a different story. You guys have done so much training. One's going to come up a winner, one's going to come up a loser. It's the way it is. It's the way life works. It's the way boxing works. But I think there should be a level of respect for each other. And I think I would like to think that if you lost that fight, you still would have hugged her out and still would have like said thank you for the opportunity. Because you're both there for the opportunity, right?
I lost my second pro fight. Did I hate on the other person in front of me? No, I didn't. I gave him respect. Said thank you for the fight. But my loss is within me. That's something I need to work on.
Yeah. And there's no been any contact between you two, I'm assuming.
About who?
Like you guys have not reached out, or she hasn't reached out after. Yeah, when things kind of settled.
Nah, I think I'm on my own path. She's on her own.
Fair enough. Yeah.
That's a fight game, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right. It is what it is. Moving on. As a female boxer here in Australia, I feel like boxing in general doesn't get that many. I guess doesn't get the recognition it deserves. It's even harder for a female boxer. Do you feel that?
Yeah, I feel like, look, we're still on a path. Like, yes, it is growing worldwide. In Australia, it might be a little bit held back. I would love to see more recognition on the up-and-coming female boxers or martial artists. It's just a sport, one of these things that you'll see growing. Just almost like when the Matildas, they had this booming moment for themselves. And I'd love to see the female boxers in Australia just grow even more. We've got multiple champions within the pro scene at the moment. You've got Shanika Johnson, you got Desley Robinson, you got Sky on the interim, and she's obviously fighting Mariah Turner on Wednesday. So we have amazing women. We've got Kay Scott as well. So do you know what I mean? We've got so many rising, amazing female pro boxers that should be highlighted more and more every day.
I agree. I haven't even asked you this. I can't believe I haven't asked you this yet. But back to this fight you got going on. How did you get on the card? I didn't even ask you. What was the process? So, do you have a manager? Like
yes,
an advisor?
I work with my my coach's brother, Al.
Yeah.
So Mick's brother's name's Al.
Yeah.
And he guides me. Like, I seek his advice on things, but majority has been me. Yeah. Because
that's incredible. Because I remember seeing when I saw the fight announcement between Rico and Usyk, and I don't think the undercard was
announced
yet. And I remember you were trying to get, you were doing a bit of like a social media campaign, and we were trying to get Turki Al-Sheikh's attention. And how did you get his attention? How did you get in contact with him? Because he's the promoter, right?
Yeah. I knew some of the people that worked around Salah Boxing, so I reached out before I made the campaign that you've seen on Instagram. I reached out, said, hey, 1, 2, 3, I'd love to be on this card. Do you have an idea of who's being placed on this card? And yeah, they obviously went back to speak to the others. I was still suggested that I still should post.
To get his attention?
Tag Turkey, tag the Ring magazine, get their attention. And one day I had Turkey comment. He gave me a little thumbs up.
You're kidding.
With a sunglass emoji. And I was like, if this guy, His Excellency, has decided to comment, he's not playing around, right? The guy has no reason not to, you know, to do something. So I was like, hold on,
Calm down.
calm down.
So get our hopes up just
right?
yet.
But in saying that, I think, like I said, when I went to Egypt end of last year after the Parr fight, I was actually on a podcast, and I'm talking, and I mentioned him. All I said, you know, he's done a lot of great things for the sport, you know, and then towards the end of the podcast, I mentioned I would love to bring a world title, to fight for a world title in front of the pyramids in Egypt. A couple of weeks later, when I'm back in Australia, this podcast went up, it went viral, and Turkey caught a glimpse of it. So he shared it across all his socials. Then I've seen that a few weeks later, he announces the Usyk card versus Rico in front of the pyramids.
Oh my God.
So I'm not saying he caught a glimpse of what I said,
Yeah.
but I'm saying maybe it's all meant to be, that he sees the podcast,
Yeah.
he makes this fight happen in front of the pyramids. But anyways, I spoke, you know, a couple of weeks after I posted all that stuff, the campaign, they gave me a ring. Hey, we got good news. I said, give me a call, please. They said, they pulled me on a phone call with other guys, and they said, hey, Turkey wants you to fight for a world title in front of the pyramids. That's the exact words I remember till now. And I remember I was on the way to training in the morning, and I was like, shit, like I'm trying not to sound crazy on the phone, but I'm trying to have like a professional phone call as well at the same time. So I'm like, you can just imagine like, what, how do you even react? And I was like, yeah. They're like, you know, we haven't asked her yet, but it'll probably be Mizuki. Would you fight her? And I was like, yeah, let me, that's it.
I don't think you care who you fight.
I don't care, right? So I'm like, there's no arms, no buts. I remember the phone call lasted about 3 minutes, that first phone call. And I remember as soon as I finished that phone call, Mick was pulling up to the gym, and I just pulled up and parked, and I just busted in tears.
Oh, wow.
I busted in tears. I said, Mick, we're fighting for a world title in front of the pyramids. I said, we're not just getting a fight in front of the pyramids. I said, we're fighting for a world title as well. Oh my God. He looked at me, he goes, I got goosebumps. He goes, I've got goosebumps.
What a feeling. How did you train after that?
He even, it's funny you say that. He looked at me. He's like, he can just see how I'm like a little kid in a candy shop, like, oh my God, what do I even do? Wow. He's like, just train light today because your mind's probably...
Yeah, 100%.
It's like your mind is probably everywhere right now.
And how did you share with your parents?
I sat them down. I was like, hey guys, you know, I want to meet up with you guys. Let's go grab a coffee at night. And this was during Ramadan as well. So, and I'm like, I don't know how to do it. I'm sitting them together. I'm trying to grab a video of them getting a reaction and whatnot. And they're like, why do you have a camera? And I told them, and they were like, they just couldn't believe it. They just couldn't believe it. They couldn't believe it. And
wow,
yeah, I just
what a moment.
It's unreal. It's unreal, you know. Like I said, in that podcast, I forgot what I said on the podcast, and I remember a few days ago actually, I was sitting at my mum's and I was like, hey, hold on, let me watch this video. What did I say at the end of this video? And then I'm speaking in Arabic at this point, and
what did you say? What did you say in Arabic? And then translate it. Do you remember what you said?
I said, أنا عاوز أجيب بطولة العالم هنا في مصر قدام الأهرامات. I said, I want to bring a world title fight here in Egypt in front of the pyramids. And I remember, and I said, holy shit. I genuinely said that. I literally...
You spoke it
into existence.
Exactly.
And I remember saying to my mom, like, can you see this? Like, that's crazy.
Wow, that's unbelievable. That is unbelievable. Unbelievable. Oh, far out. How do I move on from that? It's just,
It's
I'm really thinking deeply about it, and just like I've known you for quite a while now, and you know, we're good friends, and just knowing how hard you have worked to get to this moment, like I've seen it, and I'm not surprised that you're here. I'm not surprised because you've always believed in yourself, and like I said before, you had all those doubters doubting you. You work hard every single day, mind and body. You do everything right. So for me to see you in this position, it doesn't surprise me. But I'm so excited for you. I'm
Thank
so
you.
excited for you.
And I just think like it all started with dream, and it was meant to be. It was just more about holding on to that vision that I've tried and manifest it. Put my head down, work hard. You know, regardless of, you know, people not putting me on shows or not believing in me or giving me the opportunity or chance. I just had to grind it out and really make it happen for myself. And now that I'm here, it's just about continue to finish that. I'm not done. I feel like this is another chapter, and it's a big new chapter, and it's gonna be a great one.
I don't know if you remember our conversation. Probably would have been, I don't know if it was last year or the year before. Do you remember it by any chance? I remember it. I remember what I told you. Do you remember what I told you?
Remind me, please.
I go, well, just talking about like where you're at with your career and whatnot, and we're just kind of bouncing off each other with ideas and you know, advice. I was giving you my advice, and the one thing that stands out for what I said was, no one's going to get you there but yourself.
Oh yeah.
And look where you are today.
I remember. I think
It was at the Post. I think it was at the Post
yeah.
Cafe.
You told me you're the only person that can pick yourself up from wherever you want to and shift yourself to from wherever you are to greatness.
Yeah.
So
You're the only person to create your reality, like where you want to get to. I firmly believe that you were the only person that was going to take you there, and
I agree.
Here you are.
You know, you have your team of support and coaches and everything, but if you don't have that drive, the mindset for it, no one else
100%.
can help you.
And hard work. It all comes back to one thing: hard work.
Hard work.
Well, my favorite part of the
Oh
show, truth or sauce. Let's go. Woo! We're sweating now, bro. Now I don't know where you're at with your cut. You're not cutting now. You're good with your weight, right? Are you allowed?
I'm moving good with my weight.
Yeah, you're good. Are you allowed to have some? Do you like chili?
I mean, chili's not gonna harm. Yeah.
Yeah, chili's. Yeah, it's a fat burn anyway.
I mean,
and not that you have any fat on you. You're lean
That's
as.
not too bad, is it?
Pedro, have you had it recently?
I don't do chili, bro.
Bro, you're South American.
I hate chili.
Bro, you're South American.
No,
How do you hate chili?
Where I'm from, we don't do chili, bro.
Really?
Yeah, like South America, like Uruguay, Argentina, we don't really do chili. That's more like maybe Peru, Bolivia, with some
Brazil.
weird shit there. Yeah.
Okay, you just be different. All right. You can ask me any question as well, by the way. So this is the game. This is the game. I'll ask you a couple of questions, and then you can ask. It's up to you. Totally up to you. Okay, question 1. Do you think some female fighters get more opportunities based on their image rather than skill?
Yeah. Yeah, of course.
Okay,
Yeah.
can you explain that?
What do you call it? I don't want to say the word, but sex sells, right?
No,
So,
I
a
think,
little bit at times.
Yeah,
you know?
like
But look, at the end of the day, it can only get you so far.
it's
It can
true.
only get you so far. I don't judge. I don't care what you do. If that's the case to get you where you want to be, go for it. But at the end of the day, it's what you achieve inside the ring,
Yes.
what you perform is gonna get you there. You know, in my case, I want to leave a legacy. I want to be proven that I've fought the best. I've done my part. So, but yeah.
Great answer. Do you want to clap back? Do you want to give me a question, or do you want me to go to question 2?
No, go for question 2.
Okay, thank God. All right. Okay. I think you kind of answered this, but I want to kind of get deeper on it. You've come through the local scene, like you said before, fighting at Reesby Workers and all those other humble clubs. Do you feel like you've had to work twice as hard to be respected compared to other female fighters?
Yeah, definitely. I had to show who I am. I had to prove what I can do. It started off with when I, created history and we fought 3-minute rounds, obviously proving that I want to fight the same time as what the men fight. Prove that I can show out a heavy hitter and give the same entertainment to the crowd. So, and at the end of the day, if that's what it takes, I wasn't upset. I was happy with what I've done for those fights that I've, all my other 10 fights. So
This next fight, is it going to be 2-minute or 3-minute rounds?
it will be 2 minutes.
Can you explain why most female boxers prefer 2 minutes rather than 3 minutes? Or is it more the governing bodies?
It is the governing bodies. At the moment, the WBC is the only body that won't allow the women to fight for 3-minute rounds.
Okay.
You have the option for the other governing bodies, as long as you and your opponent agree.
Yeah, right.
So some of the champions right now and the females, they've vacated the WBC so they can to fight for those 3-minute rounds. Look, it changes the whole dynamic of the fight when you've got an extra minute, and then you can either go from, instead of 10 twos, you go from 12 threes. That changes the whole fight completely. You've got structure, you've got the way you think in there.
It's more like a chess game.
Absolutely. 2 minutes can be a little bit rushed. I prefer 3 minutes myself, but if this is what takes me to fight for the world title and everything, be given the opportunity, I don't mind.
What would you be if you weren't a boxer?
What would I be?
Did you ever have other passion in life?
I think business, something to do with business. Definitely, I'll be a
May
business.
the businesswoman. Business.
Yeah, business.
What
A
kind?
business. I don't know. I don't know actually, like clothing company or
Well, you got
something.
Just Drive on.
Yeah,
That's
I've got
yours,
Just
right?
Drive. I'm wearing it right now actually. So yeah, I think this is what I do outside of my boxing, and it keeps me busy. But definitely something that will almost the same feeling in boxing. Chase those rewards. Something that keeps me busy. Learn something every day about what I'm doing. It's almost what I do in boxing.
How long have you been doing Just Drive for now?
About 2 years now.
How's it going?
Yeah, good. It's been good. It's definitely challenging, but hey, that's everything in life, right?
Yeah. And it's all training gear, right?
A bit of a mix. We've got streetwear as well. So you've got your comfort lifestyle clothing, and also training wear.
How good. How good. Do you do female and male as well?
Yeah, it's a mix.
full range. Yeah, beautiful.
Full range.
If a young girl's watching this right now, right, and they want to be a female boxer one day, how do you guide them to do it?
I think obviously start with your local gym. If it's something that you're very passionate about, stick to it. Learn the fundamentals, learn the basics. Have as many amateur fights, because that is where you learn. Doesn't matter if you lose as well. It all wins and losses. You don't look at losses as losses. You look at it as a learning curve.
You learn more from the losses rather than
Absolutely. That's when I had my second pro fight where I lost, I learned from anything. I look at it and I'm like, I'm grateful for that loss. So what I'll tell them, obviously, learn as much as you can, soak it all in. Very passionate about it, protect it, and don't ever let anyone tell you otherwise.
I fucking love that. May, all the best. I'm looking
you,
forward to
Josh.
watching you do your thing, and God bless. It was a pleasure to have you here today. Thank you for coming, and
Appreciate it.
hopefully we can revisit this when you bring that belt back, baby.
Well,
Let's go.
thanks, Josh.